Welcome, everyone, to today's topic of Are You Alert to Environmental Sensitivities? If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe so you do not miss a single episode. Otherwise, you can also catch me on my blog at SheilaMeyer.com under Sheila's Insights. I wanted to talk about this subject because it's something a lot of people aren't aware of. And sometimes even when you are aware of it, it can catch you off guard, as it did to me recently. So what are environmental sensitivities? Now, some people might think, oh, it's environment. So it's those pesky seasonal allergies, so to speak, that give you the drippy, runny nose, maybe the headachy feeling, and stuffiness, in your face. That's not really what I'm talking about here today. Environmental sensitivities refers to the chemicals that are in the environment. Now, your environment can be where you live. It can be your outside air, places you visit. So, for example, new furniture, new carpet, new cars, they all have chemicals added to them to give them that new smell, so to speak. And that's usually, by the way, they usually have formaldehyde in them. And we all know what formaldehyde is used for. But there's other things too, like paint, molds. There's petrochemicals. There's the chemicals that are in perfumes and fragrances, which are everywhere. Your antibacterial products, your air fresheners, your plugins, things of this nature. And they're everywhere. So for people who are chemically sensitive to these things, they can't control what's out there in the environment. They can only control how much they are exposed to it as much as possible. Okay. Personal care products, things like that. Dryer sheets, laundry products. So I mentioned recently, I had an experience with it, even though for years, I've been aware of this. But I thought, I'm going to be outside. It should be a fun experience. And I just didn't think about some of the things that would be around. For example, I was on a boat that really burned oil, when it was running. And it made me so ill. And not wanting to disturb anybody else, I just stuck it out. But then there were laundry smells with those around me as well. And it's, if you're right next to them, there's no place to get away when you're on a boat. So inhaling all this for several hours, I was so severely nauseated. It affected not only my head with a headache, having a hard time thinking and finding my words that I wanted to say, my cognitive ability, but it also affected my gut, because there is something about the hypothalamus that controls your blood sugar, and when it's overstimulated, and then it makes you feel hungry, and then when it's not being satisfied, it was just this very overwhelming, nauseated feeling. And I thought, oh man, I am going to have certainly a day or two of what I refer to as the chemical hangover. And when we got home, which was literally several hours later, and then on top of it, there was campfire smoke all around. And then you have your lighter fluid, which is also, a petrochemical. So by the time I got home, I was not doing well, but I remembered some things that I could do to counteract those effects. And I still thought I would probably wake up the next day and be basically worthless, not being able to do anything. But was I surprised? Because I had such a long exposure to it. But I was so surprised at how well I did. I mean, I really did not have any kind of a chemical hangover. And I can only say it's because of the protocol I followed after I got home. But I'd like to just mention to everybody that this is a real thing. It's not something in somebody's mind. And they're not trying to, if somebody speaks up and says, I'm sorry, I can't be with you right now because whatever you have on is going to make me sick, please don't take offense at it because it's not their fault. They would love to be with you, but they can't. So I hope this gives a little insight as to what other people might go through. And maybe there's some ways that you can reach out to me to find out what ways you can help to support. But that was my experience recently. And I just thought, I just need to share this because it even took me by surprise. I thought, oh, I'm prepared for this. I mean, I didn't even have any food with me to counteract the effect of it. And so that's a lesson for me. Always have food with me and never check off all the boxes. Always check off all the boxes before going someplace. Ask a lot of questions. So that's my tip for the day. And I hope you all have a great day. Go slay it.